Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago Intellectual Property Office is pleased to announce the passing of the Copyright Amendment Bill 2020. The Honorable Faris Al-Rawi has shepherded the passing of the Marrakesh and Beijing treaties into law on this day, the 5th of June 2020, in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. The fact that all members voted for this shows the power and the unity associated with intellectual property. It is indeed a red-letter day for the visually impaired and for the creative industry in Trinidad and Tobago. This has been a 10-year journey that started with the negotiations in Geneva, Switzerland, culminating in the Marrakesh and Beijing treaties and the incorporation of same into our copyright laws today. I would like to pay homage to all persons who were part of this over the years, including the former Controller of Intellectual Property, Ms. Mazina Kadir, and former Deputy Controllers, Ms. Tineris, Ms. Anne-Marie Omed Joseph, Ms. Shavita Suknanan, the Head of Technical Examination, Mr. Richard Aching, and Senator Anthony Vera, the WIPO consultant, for the effort, research, and negotiations that went into this. I would also like to commend my present hard-working legal team of Mr. Kavish Sitahal, Ms. Lorinda Prasad, and the CPC offices team of Mr. Ryan Awai and Mrs. Janetta Jeet Ramsahai, and of course Mr. Ian McIntyre SC. For me, as Controller of Intellectual Property, personally it is an emotional moment, as I have spent many years negotiating this and managing the process from then to now. What does this legislation mean? I will put it in the words of the visually impaired gentleman who attended one of our national consultations at the Intellectual Property Office. He came with his school-age daughter, who was not visually impaired, and said, "Why must I not be allowed to teach my daughter her homework because I have a visual impairment?" To Mr. Kenneth Surat and to our visually impaired community, this legislation is for you. To our performers navigating COVID-19's challenges while performing online, you now have enhanced protections. This legislation is for you. Today is indeed a landmark day at the Intellectual Property Office of Trinidad and Tobago. Your IPO, inspiring innovations, protecting creations.